Aloha, my name is Alex Yu. I am a security officer of the Starfleet. Just kidding. Though some days it really feels that way. In the galaxy of cloud computing, data breaches, hackers, and regulators are our Klingons, and encryption is our deflector shield. Today, I want to talk about the intricate, sometimes exasperating, and often fascinating world of data privacy, encryption, and compliance frameworks, where the mission is not to explore strange new worlds, but to keep our data from being abducted by aliens, both human and digital. The nexus of data privacy and regulatory compliance. In the modern enterprise, data security is tightly bound to regulatory compliance. The legal landscape resembles a quilt stitched together from different colors, textures, and jurisdictions, each patch representing a law, framework, or directive that must somehow fit into the same pattern. Organizations must constantly navigate this mosaic of rules, hoping not to trip over any loose threads. Two of the most well-known frameworks in this landscape are the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. They share a common goal: protecting sensitive information, but their scopes differ dramatically. The GDPR applies to any organization that processes the personal data of EU residents, covering everything from names and email addresses to genetic and biometric data. By contrast, HIPAA is narrower, focusing specifically on the protection of protected health information, PHI, within the U.S. healthcare sector. Their differences are more than just bureaucratic trivia. They shape how organizations operate. The GDPR gives individuals sweeping control over their data, including the famous right to be forgotten. While HIPAA's focus is on ensuring that patient records stay confidential and tamper-proof. The GDPR's 72-hour breach notification rule is like a fire alarm. Once it rings, companies must act immediately. By comparison, HIPAA's 60-day allowance feels almost leisurely in the fast-paced world of data breaches. You can relax on a beach until someone calls you. For multinational companies, juggling these standards can be like trying to dance to two songs playing at once, technically possible, but not pretty. A smart approach is to adopt the most stringent rule, in this case the GDPR, as a global baseline. That way, organizations are covered no matter which regulatory melody happens to be playing. As one chief information security officer said, if you can survive GDPR, you can survive anything. Expanding the framework galaxy. Beyond GDPR and HIPAA, there's an entire constellation of frameworks that orbit the same principle: trust through accountability. The NIST Privacy Framework, for instance, offers a flexible blueprint for organizations in the U.S. to manage privacy risk. Essentially a GPS for navigating the tricky terrain between data utility and individual rights. Then there's the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI-DSS, which keeps your credit card data safe from cyber pickpockets when you buy that discounted lightsaber online. These frameworks may differ in jurisdiction and scope, but together they create a kind of united federation of compliance, each contributing to the collective defense against data breaches. Navigating compliance in multi-cloud environments. Now imagine running compliance not on one planet, but across several galaxies. That's what managing data in multi-cloud and hybrid environments feels like. Each major cloud provider, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, has its own ecosystem of policies, certifications, and security features. Azure boasts over 100 compliance certifications. AWS reportedly adheres to thousands of individual controls. Manually tracking them all is like trying to memorize the Star Trek technical manual. Possible, but not advisable. This is where automation swoops in like a friendly droid. To stay compliant without going insane, Organizations now rely on tools that enforce policies automatically and generate audit-ready reports. Microsoft's Azure policy helps companies define and apply rules across sprawling cloud environments, while Azure Security and Compliance Blueprints provide ready-made templates for launching compliant systems faster. Similarly, AWS Artifact acts like an instant compliance librarian, giving teams on-demand access to thousands of security attestations. No more late-night document hunts before an audit. These tools are not luxuries, they're lifelines. In a cloudscape this vast, human oversight alone is not enough. Automation is the new warp drive for compliance, allowing security teams to traverse complexity at light speed while keeping human error at bay. The role of encryption in data protection. If compliance is the rulebook, encryption is the armor. Every byte of data, whether sitting quietly in a server or zooming across the internet, is a potential treasure chest for cyber pirates. Encryption locks those chests shut, rendering stolen data as useful as a treasure map written in invisible ink. Major cloud providers like Google Cloud have made encryption the default. For instance, Google Cloud Storage encrypts all data with AES-256 before it even touches the disk. That's like sealing every letter in a titanium envelope before it leaves your mailbox. Encryption isn't just about checking a compliance box, it's a powerful form of damage control. Even if a breach occurs, the encrypted data becomes digital gibberish to the attacker. They feel like reading the Klingon language. Under GDPR, the use of strong encryption can even waive the 72-hour breach notification requirement, since no personal data were actually exposed in a readable form. In other words, encryption can turn a public relations nightmare into a minor technical hiccup. Yet, the devil is in the details. Key management. Relying on provider-managed keys is convenient, like renting a locker at the gym. But managing your own keys gives you ultimate control. It's risk versus convenience. A choice between carrying your own house keys or trusting someone else's janitor. Emerging privacy technologies. Beyond the lock and key. As attackers evolve, defenders innovate. A new generation of privacy-preserving technologies is emerging, so advanced that even the NSA might raise an eyebrow. Confidential computing allows data to remain encrypted even while it's being processed, using special secure enclaves in the CPU. Think of it as a soundproof room inside your computer where your data can whisper secrets safely. Then there's homomorphic encryption, which sounds like science fiction but is very real. It lets you perform mathematical operations on encrypted data without ever decrypting it. It's like doing your taxes while your accountant never actually sees your numbers. And differential privacy takes a different approach. It sprinkles just enough mathematical noise into datasets to protect individual identities while keeping the overall patterns intact. That's why Apple Computer and the US Census Bureau use it, because even in privacy, a little chaos can be a good thing. These technologies redefine what it means to protect data, moving beyond the binary of open or locked to a future where data can be both secure and useful. The path to attestation and certification. Of course, no security story is complete without the bureaucratic heroes of the tale. ISO 27001 and SOC 2. These frameworks are like the Jedi and Vulcans of the compliance world. Different philosophies, same mission. ISO 27001 is a process standard. It's all about building an information security management system, ISMS, a continuous, risk-based cycle of identifying, mitigating, and reviewing threats. It doesn't dictate what you must do, but rather how you should think. You can even accept certain risks if you document them properly, showing auditors that you're aware and in control. SOC 2, by contrast, is more concrete, a set of guardrails ensuring specific security controls are working as intended over time. SOC 2 audits your systems against 5 trust services criteria: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Passing a SOC 2 audit is like getting a gold star that says, yes, our controls are real, and they actually work. The two are not rivals but partners. ISO 27001 builds the foundation of a resilient security culture, while SOC 2 provides proof that your defenses hold under scrutiny. Together, they turn compliance from a box-ticking exercise into a living, breathing strategy of trust. Conclusion: privacy in the age of intelligent machines. So, where does all this leave us? In a universe where data travels faster than thought and artificial intelligence makes decisions faster than humans can blink, our privacy frameworks, though robust, start to look a little analog. Compliance is essential, encryption is powerful, and emerging technologies promise miracles. But the bigger question looms like a cosmic paradox. As AI increasingly governs data flow and decision-making, can human-centered privacy frameworks like GDPR truly keep pace with machine-driven ecosystems? The answer, perhaps, will define the next era of cybersecurity. Until then, stay encrypted, stay compliant, and may your data always travel at warp speed, but safely. So, what do you think? Please drop your comments here. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Live long and prosper.